Israeli strike in the tent city. Palestinians here are hoping there is change after the court order because there's nowhere safe to go. For displaced Palestinians at this makeshift camp in Deir al-Balah, decisions at the International Court of Justice don't go far enough. After 8 months of Israeli bombardment, they want decisive action to end their suffering.
We want this decision to be implemented on the ground to stop the war.
Ich will nie was implementiert haben auf dem Boden. Niemals, niemals. Noch gar nie. Aber überhaupt von dem Gericht nicht. Gar nicht. Es darf nicht.
For the world to stand with us and stop the war. They shouldn't say one thing and do something different.
Everything here in Gaza was completely destroyed. So the decision, what the Palestinian need is immediately stop war. We don't need declaration, we need application on the future.
While the UN court delivered its ruling, there was heavy Israeli bombing in Rafah. Many Palestinians remain skeptical that the court order for Israel to stop its assault on Rafah will have any effect. Back at the Shabura camp, emergency workers put out fires in this residential area after an Israeli strike. They're searching homes and telling people more bombs are expected.
Durch deine Irrseid hier. Sorry für das slow Geschrei.
Al Jazeera,
Es kann nicht wahr sein.
Gaza,
Ist nicht
Palestine.
mehr so normal.
And Hamas has welcomed the ruling by the International Court of Justice, but in a statement it says it expects the court to issue an order to stop genocide in all of Rafah, not just in Rafah. Al Jazeera spoke to Hamas spokesperson Osama Hamdan, who says the international community is failing to pressure Israel to comply with.
Die ganze Aktion ist so link-oberflächlich gestrahlt.
A very welcome decision from the ICJ, and we believe it shows clearly that the ICJ considered what's happening in Gaza is a genocide, and Israel is committing a genocide because everyone knows that the genocide is identified clearly in the court. The second issue, I believe this decision brings the whole international community to carry on their own responsibility. Everyone was waiting for this decision to understand whether it's a genocide or not. We believe as Hamas it was a genocide from day number one. But at least now everyone in the international community has to understand it's a genocide, and they have to work hard in order to make an end for that and to stop Israel from going on forward in this issue. And I believe it's a great challenge for the international community, mainly to the United States, because for all the last around 8 months, Israel was supported totally by the United States on all the levels. If you want to talk about a political level, they were supported in the Security Council, they were supported and by military aid, they were supported economically, and even they were defended by the US administration. That was what
Der Grader ist bestimmt 2 Meter tief.
now everyone understands it's a genocide.
Ja, schon normale Sprinkler.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu criticized the ICJ ruling. His office issued a joint statement with the foreign ministry
Ja, mein Gott, schon
that
logisch.
the charges of genocide brought by South Africa against Israel at the International Court of Justice in The Hague are false, outrageous, and morally.
But you have to bring this 1,000 times because first it's important, and second, if new viewers come, they knew nothing about it. Okay, no doubt it's called prostitution. Sorry.
Well, Israel has banned Al Jazeera from reporting from there, so
But
Sarah Khairat has
I can only repeat the truth.
Jordanian capital Amman.
This jurisdiction does bring nothing because this entire ICC is paid by the states and Israel. This is the truth. For the others, this is my opinion. This will always be only on the surface, nothing else. Wenn ich Pech habe, habe ich Pech, dann geht gleich hin.
continue the just and necessary war as well as returning those held captive. Then you had the far-right ministers such as the National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir adding that the only obstacle to this is the invasion of occupied Rafah. And then you also had Bezalel Smotrich, that's the finance minister, who was the first to respond to the ICJ order, and he said that this is going not just against
Also wenn das keine Zerstörung ist, dann weiß ich auch nicht.
Jewish people and its very existence. Israel will be concerned, and they have, even though they have
If there's destruction, then nothing is destruction. You don't have to look so serious. In real, you're laughing.
Israel needs to stop this
Das ist
war as
siehst
soon
du,
as
bin queer.
possible, and also
So
to
so
accept a ceasefire deal that would bring back those held captive
Oh,
from
but
the
there
Gaza
is
Strip and bring them back home.
no
This is
smile
something
anymore.
that the families
This makes
have
them
been
very,
protesting
very
and
serious.
calling on the government to make and to
I
prioritize
think he
the
has fear.
return of those that they have are still stuck in the Gaza Strip above any war goal. Many of them believe that despite Israel saying that it is winning the war, they have lost trust not only in their prime minister, but many have lost trust in the military as well. Sarah Khayrat, Al Jazeera, Amman.
Well, the Israeli military continues to attack hospitals in the Gaza Strip. Airstrikes targeted in the vicinity
Ganz
of
dicht.
Kuwait Hospital in Rafah on Friday. There were multiple injuries. Shelling and gunfire rang out around the besieged
Give a shit about it, yes.
And
This is
Gaza's
against
hospital,
international law.
managed to obtain just
Mehr
enough
geht ja
fuel
gar
for
nicht.
3 days, just hours before its generators were expected to run dry.
Wenn Bundeswehr was macht, dann ist der Soldat weg. Im Normalfall. Der verhaftet. Und der Ukraine aber genauso. Laut ICC.
The hospital's director has been warning of a looming health catastrophe. While the healthcare
Perverse Drecksäcke, ganz einfach. Perverse Drecksäcke. Weg mit. Weg mit.
Has been destroyed. The World Health Organization documented 450 attacks on healthcare facilities there between October the 7th and May the 15th, not including this week's siege at Al Auda. Well, it says Israeli forces have killed 723 health care workers and injured 924 civil defense teams and
27 Fälle.
Not one
So.
of Gaza's 35 hospitals is fully functional, and more than 100 ambulances have been damaged. Some hospitals manage to offer basic first aid, but they don't have enough medicine or supplies to treat
die WHO zu schädigen.
patients. In addition,
100% Kommission.
people injured in Israeli strikes, doctors are treating people for infectious diseases. The WHO recorded nearly 1.5 million cases of infections like chickenpox, jaundice, diarrhea, and respiratory infections. Well, meanwhile, the WHO has confirmed Palestinians in northern Gaza are experiencing famine. The agency's spokesperson, Tariq Yasarovich, says the food situation is desperate.
Well, there is a clearly need for more food, and now with Rafah crossing border being closed, the situation will only get worse. There was analysis that was done by a number of agencies saying that the famine is imminent in north of Gaza, that the children have been diagnosed with severe malnutrition. We helped health facilities to put up treatment centers for malnourished children, and there were dozens of cases that have been arriving. So the situation will only get worse. And again, just talking about fuel, we have heard about fuel. It's really difficult choices that Gazans have to do now. How to use the little fuel that is there. Should it go to bakeries? Should it go to desalination plants to have some water? Should it go to hospitals? And I think no society should be facing those choices.
Correct, sir. That's the next public, yeah.
Now to Papua New Guinea, where hundreds of people are
This is catastrophe. Maybe. Why can't we prevent this?
The remote area in Enga province. Jessica Washington reports.
The aftermath of a landslide in Papua New Guinea's northern Enga province. It struck around 3 a.m. while people were sleeping. The hillside collapsed, burying houses. Survivors say boulders
like an
the size
earthquake.
of cars came tumbling down on the village below.
Landslide and nothing is wet. No rain.
Boys right there at the back of me, they're telling me that this is a massive destruction that took place. More than 300 lives were lost. Right now, those lives are covered by the rocks and the debris right now here.
In footage posted on Facebook, people are seen climbing over rocks and uprooted trees. Most residents of this district are small-scale farmers. It's not clear how many are affected, as there's no recent data on the population. Prime Minister James Marape says the Defence Force will help with the search and recovery efforts. Authorities in England have sent emergency response teams to the area and described the landslide as devastating and unprecedented. Earlier, the provincial administrator held an emergency meeting with health authorities and police, as well as a representative from the United Nations. Community groups are collecting aid for families who have lost everything in this disaster. Jessica Washington, Al Jazeera.
Still ahead here on Al Jazeera, fighting escalates in Myanmar's Rakhine state. The UN warns thousands of Rohingya
Next case of genocide. Rohinga, huh? Okay, now it's finished. Okay. Good night, good morning. I want to sleep now. Thank you for your audience. It's always the same. They're calling the ICC. I repeat my email to Al Jazeera and to the ICC. I will send it also. Think about serving yourself and let us, the people, vote for the judges, because we know best what happens. And this institution is not being paid by any big entity. This has to be paid by us, by a special tax maybe. We can think about it, but we have to change it in general. Okay, this I stay. Thank you for your audience. You're always welcome. Goodbye.